Hey guys, it's Ben. So right before we dive into the video, I want to give some context, right? So I came over to Arizona I'm from Austin. So I flew over to Arizona to do 4 podcasts with big influencers that I'm really, really excited to share with you guys and that are going to be released in the few upcoming weeks. And while I was there, one of our clients, Mason, who you're going to see right after I do this short intro, I called him up. I was like, "Hey man, I'm in town. I'd love to come by your office and just sit down and just talk through the business and come up with exact action items that we can implement in order to scale the business a lot quicker with not as much effort. So higher leverage, basically. So pretty much in the entire conversation, it's a little bit long. I told my editor, "Hey, we want to keep this as little to no editing as much as possible. That way you see the entire conversation." And as you can see by the title, we were able to find 2 action items that you're gonna see throughout this entire video to pretty much double his business in 2025, which is the year we're in right now. And the way I came up with that number is because last year he did about $750,000 in revenue, and these 2 action items that we've identified are able to double the amount of revenue and profit he's about to make this year. So, for context, my process, and you're going to see, is I like to dig deep a lot because I'm trying to find what is the biggest constraint in the company, and the way I identify the constraint is simply what is the weakest link, right? What is something in the business that if we can solve can result in max or can result in outsized returns, right? So my encouragement to you, or my promise to you, is that if you watch this entire video to the end, you're going to see exactly how I sit down with every single real estate investor to brainstorm exactly how we scale their businesses, right? So if I were you, I would recommend you, take out a notepad, take out a pen, and pretty much write down the questions that I pretty much asked them. Not every question, but the good ones. And if you would know what a good question is, right? Most people aren't dumb. Hopefully not you, right? Write down the questions that I asked him and try to understand why I'm asking him that. And then after you finish this video, ask yourself those questions, right? That way you can figure out exactly what's wrong in your business, and you can diagnose or you can identify the constraint and come up with action items to alleviate that constraint, to release that constraint and scale a company. So this is a bit of a different style. I truly enjoy doing this, and I hope you guys enjoy watching these conversations as well, because I'm trying to go a bit away from like the over edited bullshit. I mean, we're not monkeys, like dopamine monkeys. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and if as always, try to watch it to the end to have full context. So with that said, appreciate you watching this intro, and let's dive straight into it. I'm waiting. Can I have a Wi-Fi? Oh, absolutely. So I start with constraint, and the way I identify the constraint is simply the weakest link. Okay, right? So the constraint that I look for is, it can either be your your cost per lead. It could be your cost per appointment or lead to appointment rate. It could be appointment to contract and a contract to close. Okay. Right? So the way I look at it is like, whatever the weakest link is, if we solve all of our energy, resources, and put our time into solving that constraint, it 2x's. I'll give you an example. One of the other clients that came out last week, came in my office, their constraint was assignment fee. Their assignment fee was not as high as I wanted it to be because their leads contract was really good. Okay. Their cost for context, they're at the 34x ROAS. I mean, for every dollar they put, they're getting $34.
Yeah.
And that's with an average assignment fee being only $11,000. Okay. For us and our average client at Bold Deals, it's 18 minimum.
Okay.
So for me, anything less than that is a problem. Either something's wrong on my end or something's wrong with there.
Got it.
Right? Because I know, think of that this way, Mason. If I can double your average assignment fee, you can close the same number of deals, everything else can stay the same, and you double your profit.
Yeah.
And most wholesalers that I speak to, at least for our clients, the goal we're trying to solve for is not revenue, it's profit. Does that make sense?
100%. does that resonate with you? And I'm here like, camera's rolling, but I'm gonna cut on it now.
Okay, yeah, so whatever. It totally does. I think it's easy when I first started to get wrapped up in growth for the sake of growth, and more deals is better, and it's all about volume. And it's like, whoa, no. What if we just did?
You had a client that in San Antonio, Texas, he was doing $200,000 a month and only profiting 10%.
Wow, yeah.
So I'm just like, because a healthy wholesale operation operates at 50%.
I was gonna say about half. Was their standard?
Austin Zabac operates at 50%.
Okay.
Their ROAS was 15x.
Jeez.
So I'm just like, if they're getting, and this is why the first step to solving a problem is identifying the fact that you have a problem. Right. And this is why I'm here, because it's like we should get our cost per lead lower, but that lead quality is trash. I can get you $5 cost per lead. Sales intent hurt.
Yeah.
And then if our cost per lead is too high, I'll give an example. With Zabac's team, their cost per lead is $200.
Okay.
Which is very high, conservatively on PPC.
Yeah.
What we're running for.
Okay.
But their lead to contract rate is 1 out of 4. That's the best it's gone. On average, it's 1 out of 6.
Okay.
Right? So if you multiply that lead to contract rate, their cost per contract is 200 times 6 is $1,200. Right? Their contract to close is 100%. So every property they get under contract, with us at least.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Jeez.
No.
With us, I don't care about their cold calling. I'm talking about their cold calling.
Yeah.
Is 100%. Right? And their average assignment fee is $21.22.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
With everything in general, it's $15. I just talked to their VP of sales, Jesse. And I'm like, okay, what is going to prevent us from scaling? Well, like, why can't we scale this to like $1,000 a day in Athens, $30,000 a month? Budgets, things like that, that we're not going to get into. So the point for me is like, with you guys, it's we fix one thing. Like, is it your sales guy? Is it your disposal process? What is the case? That way we can just get the most throughput. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that's pretty much where I want to start.
Cool.
Do you know your KPIs?
Roughly, in general, we're getting better at tracking that. I'm keeping a close eye on it.
I have a projection sheet that I will. Oh, the Wi-Fi didn't work.
Oh,
I'll even try capital. Oh yeah. So I'll show you why I track these numbers in a second. But two things we're really working on right now is building out a better sales tracker for all of our clients. So marketing a sales tracker, because you can't come to me and lie to me on numbers.
Right.
Totally. Here's what we do with our numbers. So I don't know if you have access. Do you have access?
I've never seen that before.
I'll send this to you right now. Okay. So this is pretty much a tracker that we use for all of our clients to run projections.
Okay.
Right? So we put in your baseline KPIs right now, and we're able to project in the next month, 12 months, et cetera, where your business is going to be at. Okay. Revenue, profit, deal flow, everything like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I pretty much like to start with the big three. The big three KPIs that I look for are ROAS, which we don't have yet, cash conversion cycle, and average assignment fee.
Okay.
Do you know?
Our average assignment fee last year was like $28,000.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have a ROAS number off the top of my head.
Don't worry about that.
The third one was again?
Average cash conversion cycle. So how long does it take from when a lead comes into when a deal closes? Oh, yeah.
I'd be guessing, so I don't have it tracked. 60 days maybe as a ballpark estimate.
Is it more 60? Is it more 30? Is it more 90?
I think 60 is about right on average. 60. But again, that's ballpark, just off the top of my head number.
Okay. Cost of lead, I have one. I was checking yesterday. I can't remember it right now. Let me see if I just pull.
Yeah, I think you sent me a note, or one of the guys, maybe an updated.
Oh, Matt probably sends it to you.
Yes.
The last week when my client came to Austin, we stayed, so we had dinner, and then we talked about this for a good 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like, they came back. It's two 20-year-olds. They did $70,000 in closed deals. Their profit off of that was 70 minus 2,200 in ad spend, and then my fee, which is, how much do I charge now? 2,500. So I'll just say 5,000.
Sure.
So they profited 65 yesterday.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just like, their biggest thing, and they're not they're happy, they're not satisfied.
Okay.
So there's a thing. So I have a quote where it's like, you could be proud of what you built, but never get satisfied.
Yep.
Right. Is the way I look at it.
Totally.
So for them, their biggest constraint was team, right? Because the both of them, and we're definitely going to talk about team in a second here, and I have all the playbooks. I'm going to share everything. Like, there's nothing I'm going to hold back because you're my client, obviously. So their biggest constraint was team. Most people think that to hire a good team comes down to pay and then like SOPs. And those are important, don't get me wrong. But the question I asked them is, why should somebody come work for you rather than somebody else?
Definitely.
Right? And the issue that they had is the same way we create an offer to sell to, you said you have coaching students, right? Mm-hmm. So the same way, we could talk about that because I've blown up coaching programs. You've never seen it. Because I'll tell you why. I'll segment that in a second. But we run ads targeting real estate investors. So all the data that I have, I just copy it over to you, and he goes crazy, right? But anyways, going back, what was I talking about? Team building, yes. So with team building, the way I look at it is you have to create a company that people after want to work for. Because you can hire great people, but now the second problem becomes team turnover, right? Acquisition managers leave because that sucked, yada, yada, yada,
Yep.
right? And that all comes on the front end. So the way that I was training them is like, you have to have a clear vision. And here's the issue that I have. Wholesalers, and this triggers it really does. They say the goal is to serve sellers.
Sure.
Like,
of course.
who and I, that's absolute bullshit.
Sure.
Right? So to me, it's like with content. I want to be the bigger brother I wish I had when I first started. And when you can get your team to actually buy into that vision, they will work days, nights, weekends, holidays. So right? So that's what we had, right? Our salespeople, they were working weekends, away from their families, etc. Because the vision was so big. So for you, and another side note that I want to preface with you, I operate off of the action items. So like, I'm gonna send you the recording and everything, but there's gonna be action items, and I'll tell you how I did it with them. Okay, that way they operate. So we had our 3-hour discussion, and just the entire time we had action items. They wrote it down, which tells me, it makes me appreciate, because now you're just not like trying to remember it. Yeah, because you're not, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, cool. How long do you think it's going to take for you to get all this done? They'll say in the next 2 weeks. I'm like, no, how can you get it done in the next 3 days? And the reason why I say that is because I want to increase the time it takes, or decrease the time it takes for us to get things done, because the faster we move, everything else it happens as a result.
Definitely.
Right? So I like to move a lot quicker. So team building, I want to dive into with you when it comes to with them, with recruiting, onboarding, management, and ascension. Right? And what do I mean by ascension? Ascension means, the way I look at it, is they're doing acquisition. Let's say they hire somebody. They're not going to be their goal, the team member's goal, is to not be an acquisition manager forever, but their goal is to ascend to sales manager, VP of sales, etc. Right? So that's something I want to dive into. KPI tracking is something we definitely dive into.
Yep.
Dispo, transparency is not my wheelhouse. I hate it. I don't want to know anything about it. I just know it's very important, because that's when deals actually close.
Yeah.
And I'll share this with you. Most wholesalers that I've spoken to, they say they have a dispositions issue. In reality, they have an acquisitions issue.
For sure.
Right? Because all their deals are shit. So obviously, they're going to have a bad deal.
Yeah.
And then what else? Because so it's marketing, sales, dispo, operation, legal, finance. Finance is a big wheelhouse for me. So I really want to talk to you about percentages, right? Because I'll share this. I'll be vulnerable with you. The mistake that I made last year is I was also focused on a lot of revenue, but our profitability sucked, right? So for us this year, the goal is to maintain revenue, increase profitability.
Definitely.
And the way we do that is get better clients, do this, et cetera. That's right. So that's a really big thing.
Yeah.
Legal, I'm not a lawyer. Tech, I can help you with tech a little bit here and there. I'm not the best at it, but I'm decent.
Okay.
But yeah, so my question for you then becomes, what are the big 3 things? What are the big 5 things that you and the company are actually struggling with right now? Because I don't need to know your wins. Like, if I didn't come here to
right,
cheer you on.
Yeah, I would say we're always trying to get better at, on the acquisition side, just number of leads.
Okay. So volume.
Volume, we've ebbed and flowed over the years, like I said, but we're a little bit stuck at that 6 to 8 closings a month right now. And
Why do you think you're stuck at 6 to 8 closings?
we've definitely made the shift to go after more quality deals, with our average assignment fee being just under 30.
When you say quality deals, as measured by what?
The assignment fee, typically. Like if it's just too skinny, or like, hey, maybe we could squeeze out $10K on this deal, we're just kind of passing on it at this time and going after some bigger, bigger transaction volumes.
So you guys JV with people right now?
A little bit, mostly with like agents if they bring us an off-market listing before, which I just wouldn't even really do.
So let's talk about that. The reason why I say this is, so let's talk about JV and agents. So with Austin's team, JV is a massive profit lever for them because its cost per acquisition is 0. So the infinite scale is pretty much like 0.
Yeah.
So we've done this for many other investor clients that we have because, again, it costs nothing. They're already using their resources, and it maximize the metric that we call at a high level revenue per employee. So that's it's very interesting. How much your money are making? Because for us, we have a KPI, or at our company and our clients' companies, we have a KPI as to what we hit, and then we have a return on team. So revenue per employee is simple. How much revenue you're doing either on a monthly basis or an annual basis divided by number of team members you have. That's your revenue per employee. And then you have a return on your team.
Yep.
So
Makes sense.
You have return on ad spend, but then there's return on your team. So I have return on sales team, return on dispo team, and then MISC. Yeah, obviously.
Sure.
So we have specific KPIs. Transparently, like 3 is KPI, but we're really aiming for 5 on both. That's my KPI. Some people disagree. That's what I like to aim for. Okay. And then, so that's how we maximize little things like this. It's like, what are the simple things we can do to maximize revenue and profit? That's the way I look at it. Because it's like, can you start flipping and maximize your revenue and profit? Are you flipping?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a brokerage?
No, not licensed.
Can we start a It's like an option is like, we could start brokerage, but it takes all this time, all this energy, all this resources for little, not as big of a gain as we want.
Sure.
Right? So I'm pretty much just trying to add different departments with the team and resources you have. Does that make sense? Because in a way I'm lazy, but I also want a lot of results. So that's the way that I look at it.
Cool.
The second question I have is with agents. Do you pay them a commission? Or how does it work? Or do they make a commission?
They just say, put your fee on top. Here's what we can pay. Whatever you can negotiate with your seller client, you guys pick it.
What do they send you, like pocket listings, or how does it work?
Yeah, they'll send us. It depends. Some agents have like the Zillow territory for certain areas, or they get all the Zillow leads and they send those to us.
Okay.
Or, hey, I've got a client who's going to list next week. Can you give us a cash offer?
So I want to talk about that. How are you? And obviously, they're sending it to other investors as well, right?
No,
they're not.
for us.
Okay, so that's awesome. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
So my question is, how do you maintain that relationship and scale that?
So we've built out, it's all about follow-up from my experience, where we're not trying to be the guys who hit up that agent, hey, any new deals for me? Hand out, hey, what do you have for me to make money on? So we've systemized and scheduled out our follow-ups with agents on a monthly basis to be, hey, here's an article that we thought might be interesting. Here's a funny video about a flipper.
You ever done a meetup? It just popped in my head. What if you did a meetup with all the real estate agents? I don't know, because in my head, it's like, nothing against agents. Okay, nothing against agents, but they're very like hoorah in a way, where it's like they want to feel productive.
Sure.
So I'm just like, if you hosted like an office meetup with that of all the realtors, buy some pizza, it costs a little, like $100 maybe.
Right, yeah.
You get it? Okay. And because I'm trying to think about like, what sort of experience can we provide to our partners? That way they only want to work with us, nobody else.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
We've thought about doing some stuff here. Maybe this is a limiting belief, but my goal with agents is to make, hopefully not everybody sees this part, but
No, we could blur a lot of this out. Yeah. And then, JV, you guys aren't doing that right now.
Not really. I mean, guys will send us deals like, if hey, do you have a buyer for this? So that kind of works. I just kind of like being in control. And I've had a couple bad experiences trying to sell other people's contracts that had stuff in there that just wasn't great or they didn't set proper.
Okay, so just best sellers.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so let's go back to the dispo. Do you know on average what your contract closes?
Probably about 50%.
50%. Why you feel like it's that low?
It's actually might even be lower, now that I think about it, because one of our rules is every single lead that comes in gets a written offer. So people, now that offered out is obviously different than contract signed, gets a lead.
Yeah, I get it.
So we send out a ton of offers. And then if we're too tight on numbers, especially in some of our other markets outside of Phoenix, I'll tell seller, hey, I don't know for sure if we can get it done at this price.
Do you know by chance for acquisitions, if you're offering everybody, what average talk time is?
I don't. We use Simply for our CRM. For sure it's in there, track time and everything.
Yeah.
But part of it's on cell phones too, or follow-ups. Tracking.
So I think that I've heard, now don't quote me on this, but I think when it comes to business calls, you have to have them recorded or disclose that they're recorded.
Yep.
To maintain compliance.
Yep, we are. All that.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay, so contract to close is that could be a constraint.
Yep.
So why do you feel like it's that low though?
I think I was thinking of the wrong number of number of offers out to get a contract. Once a contract is signed.
Do you know what that is? Number of offers to their contract?
Don't.
Because it's like I said, it's 5%.
Guys, we need.
No, because I'm thinking about that shit's 5%. Yeah, we just double it. You double the amount.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Signed contract to closing is going to be higher than 50%.
Signed contract to closing is higher than 50%.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say probably closer to 80.
Okay.
Sweet. I don't want to lock up a deal with a seller unless I'm really sure we can sell it.
And the reason why that's a good mindset is because if you don't fulfill on it, you have to go back and you back out, it gets really nasty. So that's good. Okay, so contract to close is not a constraint. Do you know what your offer to contract is?
Offer to contract. Well, everyone gets a contract. If they're a lead, they get an offer, a written offer from us. Is that the question, or did I misunderstand?
So every lead that comes in gets an offer.
Every qualified lead, not they want $2 million for my place, but
yeah. Do you know what offer accepted rate is? So offer to contract?
No idea. That is something we need tracked out.
Is there any way we can pull that up?
Trying to think where I don't have the metrics, because we'll send out if we get on a phone with seller, we have a couple good conversations and then they ghost us, let's say, for whatever reason.
Okay.
I'll mail them an offer to their mailing address, but I don't have a way to track how many went out right now unless it's just a manual sort of Excel sheet. So I need to track how many are going out because I don't know that number.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah.
Number
of offers out.
See, this is why I love. This is why I love doing this. Okay.
And poke holes with I'm not married to any of our process. I'm not the guy who's don't call my baby. Poke holes in our business because I'm
That's
all
my goal. I'm not here to sugar.
We got no sacred cows or no we've been doing it this way for so long.
That's good. See, we have natural lines that are like that. So I try to be careful.
Totally. No, rip us apart, dude.
Okay. It would help if you had your numbers because I'm okay, boom, here's the constraint. Let's go list it right now. Let's go talk to your acquisitions guy right now.
A constraint I know right off the bat, especially in our other two markets outside of town, is underwriting.
Break that down.
We can do a deal in 2 seconds here in town. We've been buying in Arizona for a long time. We opened up Savannah, Georgia, and Arkansas, and it's hard for us to find. We've been leveraging agents, but then the off-market stuff, they're not really getting paid on the deal. So learning street by street, what's this house worth? What can we pick? And someone go walk it to get pictures. That process remote, he uses new is a constraint for us right now.
Okay. What are you guys doing to try and solve it?
We've built up a pretty good network of boots on the ground guys to help with photos.
Okay.
Investors I got a vacant rental. It's in, Northwest Arkansas. And we're well, shoot, how do we get in there? How do we find someone? We have to pay them. So that piece has been helpful. On the underwriting side, just leveraging agents. But again, that's been a little bit tricky because they're well, how do I get what's in me?
Yeah.
So we're trying to learn it too. I I have no interest in mastering underwriting. I don't want to know analysis and how to crunch numbers and comps. I just want someone to tell me, hey, this thing's probably worth 300. If you can get it for 220 or less, or whatever the number, like, give me a license to hunt and I'll go, but I outsource all of my underwriting to agents here in town, or like the guy who lists all of our flips here in town. My best friend, he analyzes deals in the front end, and then he's responsible for selling them on the back end. So he's kind of involved in that process. So
If we were able, what do you think would happen? Let's say we hire somebody as a full-time underwriter. What do you think is going to happen to the company?
double business.
Okay, great. So how do we do that today? Hey, hope you're enjoying this video that I'm doing with Mason, one of our clients right now. By the way, if you are a virtual wholesaler who's doing 2 or more deals per month and you're looking to scale your business with inbound marketing, exactly like Mason, and have the exact same consulting that I'm doing with him, with you as well, feel free to click the link in the description, schedule a call with either me or a member of my team, and I love the opportunity to work with you and your team personally. With that said, let's go back to the video. So how do we do that today?
The trickiest part, I think, is, and maybe it's just because I'm new to doing it remote, is like, how do you find someone who can learn the 3 markets that we're in?
Do you feel like that's a limiting belief?
Definitely.
Okay.
Because it's not rocket science to learn streets and how to run numbers and what's the good part of town.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You say double your business if we were to stall this. And when you say double your business in revenue, you don't tell, if you want to tell me the number, sure, I'll know. So my question for you is, how much is it costing you not to figure out underwriting virtually?
Yeah, I mean, we did.
Let's talk about a month. How much is it costing you a month not to figure out underwriting?
For sure. I know our numbers from last year because we just obviously finished.
Give me last year.
We did $740,000 in assignment fees in 2024.
Okay.
And then flip and rental income and the other stuff, but just from
So
wholesale.
let's go by just wholesale.
Yeah. So that was the numbers.
So you're missing out on $700,000 because of underwriting.
Probably. Yeah.
And let's say, how much would you pay an underwriter per year? This part, I don't know. I don't know how much you pay an underwriter.
I don't pay anything right now, that's the thing, but probably some kind of small base and maybe a profit share if a deal converts. So
That's good. What base are you thinking?
find someone good,
No, find somebody great.
great, old time,
Yeah.
probably like $5K a month, I think would do it with some profit share. Or something.
Okay. So on-track earnings, do you think they could hit $8K a month?
Yeah.
Okay. So on-track earnings annually is about $100K.
Yeah.
And they would generate you an extra $700,000. So it's just $7. So do you feel like that's worth it?
Totally.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's an action.
Yep.
So this is why I feel like I see your face light up and I'm like, I got it. Fucking got it.
Worked again.
Does this help so far?
Very.
Okay. I was like, if I'm just going here yapping. Like,
No, it is. And I think, the limiting belief part is big because I've, for 4 years, just done it here. I can go drive to the property and I can see it and I can be the one to watch. So doing it across the country in Georgia is like, well, so new and different. I got to be totally different. And it's like, well, maybe it's just.
how do you go about market selection?
We started with 55 MSAs and then just kind of whittled that down over time. All the normal population growth and values, certain things. I picked 2 initially outside of Scottsdale and we're opening up more, but it was a combination of jobs coming in, all the normal.
Gotcha. Okay. So figuring out underwriters is a big thing.
Yes.
So we identified that because a big constraint you mentioned was going virtual. What is another constraint that you have that you know that if solved could 3x, 5x the company? What's something that keeps you up at night?
We talked about lead flow, just volume in general of good leads.
Yeah.
Dispo is set. I feel really good about Dispo. Our process is better.
We all got leadership. How's management around here, team culture and stuff? And I know culture is like very wishy-washy, but it's like,
Yeah.
how does people work at it? Do they just clock in, clock out type of thing, or what is that?
I'm big on a lot of autonomy. Give my team freedom. I think part of our value proposition is like, hey, there's infrastructure here and we can come alongside and support. You've also got a lot of freedom to run this. I want you to build your book of business on sales. So I'll help you and we can get the groundwork going with some scripts and talk tracks, but sales at your age.
Training your salespeople.
We have a team training every Tuesday, and then I give them full access to say, hey, if you want
That's one-on-one? Do you guys have huddles, like sales huddles every morning?
No.
Why no? It doesn't have to be an hour. It's supposed to be like
Totally.
Yeah.
The team has ebbed and flowed a lot.
What does that mean?
At our height, we had 9 or 10 acquisition guys, and it was just how anybody with a pulse, throw them in, more deals is better, let's just go fill up the office.
Were you giving them base?
Yes.
Okay, so with Austin's team, zero base.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Why is it crazy to you?
I guess the only model I've known is, hey, to keep them from being so stressed to pay their rent, you give them something to live off of.
I got a question. Why do you feel like stress is a bad thing?
I don't know if it's a bad thing. I think maybe the limiting belief I told myself is that they don't have something coming in, they're going to be so desperate on the phones and so like, I just have to do this to get this deal done, that they're going to compromise on some things unless they, okay, I know for sure I'm getting.
Have you seen that?
3K a month. A little bit.
Okay.
But I think it's more in my head too.
Relatively speaking, has it happened a lot? Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you it doesn't happen. Sure, it happens.
Yeah. The guys, I give them 2 options on the comp plan, a base plus upside or full commission. Some guys who think they have a little something going, want to move over full commission, no base. And 2 or 3
commission is?
It is a tier-based structure. I do it
That's awesome.
totally different. The reps don't know what the assignment fee is. There's not full visibility into what we're making. So it is a flat fee in a tier-based structure.
Why don't they know how assignment fee?
Again, maybe a limiting belief, but I had just trained up so many guys and given them full visibility and access to the business, and they learn.
No, don't give them full visibility. Just like let them know, like, hey, our cash. Because here's the thing: it's like if your sales team knows, this is my experience. I'll tell you, if my sales team knows like a few KPIs on the back end, like the average client stays with us for this amount of time, it not only helps them with conviction, but if they know their contract to close is 100%, they're like, dude, if I lock this guy up, I'm making money. So if I know average assignment fee is $30,000, I make X amount of that.
Yep. And they know what their commission is going to be on deals. I just haven't found a lot of value in them seeing it start to get,
Ask you, if we were to solve this, if we were to tell them, does that solve a problem?
Tell them the assignment fee?
Telling them, is that going to solve a problem?
It creates problems for me.
Okay, so no. So because if everything we're doing, that the way I look at it, if it doesn't solve a problem, it's like, why are we doing it? It's waste of time.
And maybe I would love to hear someone else who gives their reps full access into what the assignment fee is.
Let me ask you this. How often are you having one-on-one huddles with them? Do you do feedback surveys or anything?
I do. It's all on them. So I said, if you guys want one-on-one time, I'm open and flexible for half an hour here. You come to me and ask for that, and I'll do it, but I'm not going to force it.
Do you do anonymous feedback surveys?
We don't.
Okay, so I want to share this with you. This is something that we do once a month in our company, where this is mine. Just copy it and how do I share yours? And the best part is it's anonymous. That's a beautiful thing for you is like based on their responses, the way they talk, you can sort of like guess who it is.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that I want to share with you.
Sweet.
I just keep it perfect. If you have to take a call, it's all right. No, it's all good. Yeah. So that's something that I like to do because I want to know what they really think about Wing.
Totally.
Because if you ask them on a Zoom call, put them on the spot, hey, what's really going on? They're not going to.
Right. It's all good. You're great.
Why are we making money then? No. Exactly.
Yep.
So, okay, that's one thing I want to dive into because the way I look at leadership, this is a big lesson that I had to go through, right? So the lesson that I went through is I was going to one of my coaches and mentors. He's a close friend now. And I was like, dude, my sales team, they're so fucking lazy. Like, they're so lazy. It's driving me nuts. Like, we're just leaving all this money on the table and then nothing's working. And then he was like, okay, send me a recording of your sales huddle. I was like, fine, here it is. He's like, dude, you're just a shitty leader. I was like, thanks. What up?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, thanks for telling me how I fix that.
Yeah.
And he gave me a lot of these mindsets. It's like One of them is your team does not work for you. You work.
Totally.
That's one of my favorite ones. Leaders eat last.
Yep.
That's the basic one. But like all these quotes are great, but how do we actually exemplify
Yeah.
that? Right? How do we actually execute
Yeah.
that? And the way I do it is I treat it as a sales conversation. I treat almost everything as a sales conversation because we're just trying to understand the pain and we're trying to help them get to a goal and brainstorm how we're going to get to that goal. So with the feedback surveys, it helps me do that.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Because one of the questions I have in there is, hey, what do you think Ven should do to become a better leader and CEO? Right? What do you like most about here? What do you hate most about here? What is your ultimate goal here?
That's good.
Right? Because if their goal is, if they're an acquisition manager and their goal is to become like VP of sales, well, great. Let's talk about how we can get you there. Because eventually, if we get them there, they're going to make you more money.
Definitely.
So we have to clear, I'm going to mention what I do. I lay out a clear roadmap as to why or how we're going to achieve that goal. And one of my last questions is, would you consider leaving both deals? And if so, why? Right? And they'll say like, hey, if integrity goes down, our leader becomes dictator, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And the beautiful thing is on team huddles, the way I do it is I ask like, hey guys, one of you guys, I don't know who, mentioned that I'm slowly leaning towards a dictatorship. Okay. I would ask them, what are some things you guys think that I can do better? Yeah. That are almost showing like a vulnerable side of yourself, and the team really appreciates it.
Definitely.
And then the last one is like, hey, just an open journal. So I just spill your thoughts, right?
Yep.
So it's simple. I try to do it once a month, once every 2 months, to get feedback, and then so that's how I go about leadership.
Yeah.
That I think would be cool if you implemented that.
Yep. I like that.
So that's leadership. What else did we talk about? Go back, problems, constraints. What are you thinking?
I feel like if we solved the volume piece, everybody wants more leads, and then the underwriting, man, those are the two main.
Okay, let's start with the underwriting because the marketing is easy. It's a light. You just spend more.
Yeah.
Relatively special. Sure. Bear with me. Cool. What is the goal of the company? What is the goal of Front Porch?
The goal is to generate cash to buy ground properties.
Put a number to it.
For wholesaling or for?
Let's start with wholesale.
$1 million in assignment fees this year. Okay, 5.
Are you guys on base?
Yeah, we're 1 month in, but we're a little bit above our monthly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Okay. So $1 million in annual
Assignment fees.
correct.
Yep.
By the end of the year.
Yep.
So that's 8 deals a month. You guys are. If you're doing 6 to 8, you are on pace for it.
Some of those closings are rental purchases, though, or
Oh, okay. Now, what about say sales? What about house?
we're probably at 2 a month on average for wholesale assignments right now.
2? Okay, so that's your average is 20, so that's 40K. So you're halfway you're there. Okay. And flips, does that contribute to it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How often are you flipping?
We've started flipping a lot less. We did 100 flips in 21, maybe 80 or so.
Have you considered cherry picking your flips from our marketing? Because and the reason why I asked you that is because we have flippers that work with us, and they use us. They use us to cherry pick their deals, and they want to get into wholesaling so they can control their deal flow. Meaning, we send them leads.
Yeah.
If they don't want to flip it, they just go wholesale to some other.
Oh, 100%.
So it's capped.
Yes, of course.
So you guys are doing that, right?
I don't know how else you would do it, right? Without picking the best deals for you to take down yourself to flip? Or is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I got scared for a second.
Yeah,
I was like,
we don't really buy from other wholesalers or like on market stuff, so we
use that promise for yourself, and
okay. Also, we don't want to flip.
flips. Dude, I got some stories we talk about.
Yeah.
I got crap I'm going through right now with the flip in Pennsylvania.
Shoot. I'm leaning away from it. Like I said, we did that. We had 4 full-time crews at one point. All time to go 12 at a time, and it got crazy. So we've wound that down for the sake of my sanity and for my family and all that. So, yeah.
What do you think? Let's go back to 2 goals: volume and hire an underwriter. Where can we find an underwriter? Well, let's start with an offer. So we know we want to. Their on-track earnings is about $100K a year.
Yep.
Right. Where do you think your underwriters are from? are sort of lame. And I'll tell you this, the best talent is already working for somebody. We just have to throw it.
I don't want the guy who's not performing and is just looking for the next league I jump to. I want the stud who doesn't know what else is out there. But I think it's what's hot. Like, how do you find a stud-driven, non-sales underwriter? Like, that personality is a challenge. Their data, they're a bit more introverted. They just kind of want to come in, crunch numbers, and move on. So I was thinking maybe an agent who couldn't quite crack the sales piece or the client side, but has the market knowledge. Or
let me ask you this. This is something I would do, okay? Just think, I've never hired an underwriter before.
Sure.
And this is just when it comes to like what I would do when it comes to recruiting. Who do you know that is like awesome at underwriting?
My best friend here does all stuff here in town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any way, because there's two ways you can go about it. You could slowly like nurture him to come work for you.
Sure.
But would he do it for 100K a year is the question. Does he make more as an agent?
He does.
Okay. Does he enjoy being an agent?
He does.
Yeah, that's challenging that.
He gets all of our listings and he's good at it and likes talking to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we paid him, so let's say we found like a junior underwriter.
Yeah.
And we paid him to train him and go under his team. Is that something that would, the only thing
challenge is we need someone who, my best friend knows Arizona really well.
Okay.
Doesn't know the other two markets.
Can he learn those?
Yes.
What do you think he would need time-wise to learn those? To like really, really learn them?
Probably needs to get licensed in both states to have access to MLS.
Okay. Do you know any agents in those markets that are good?
Sam, yeah, that's what we've been kind of dabbling with. Is there something here where we can give them some sort of monthly stipend? Or
let me ask you this.
$50
This is something I would do because I value paying for consulting a lot. Who do you know that's like one of the best realtors in those markets? So we could pay them like $500,
Totally.
$300 for 1 hour for them to teach us all the ins and outs.
Totally. Yep. We've been kind of doing that for free over time and building out maps. And this is a good part. This is the charming infrastructure of this historic neighborhood compared to next door.
Yeah.
We haven't sat down and said, all right, give me an hour of your time to just spill everything.
I'm sure this is what I'm doing with you. Something we've done a lot is we would hire external people to come train our team. So my question is like, okay, your best friend is not the best underwriter in
Those other markets.
Exactly, in those other markets, but Joe Schmo might be.
Sure.
So what if we just gave Joe Schmo 100, maybe $300 for 1 hour?
Sure.
500 might be too much. I don't know. That's up to you.
Yeah.
Right. Just negotiate with him. Right.
It's interesting.
To have him teach all the ins and outs
To the junior person, you mean? The new person?
junior person, or to you, and then you can share. But that's
I don't want to learn it. No,
Exactly.
The guy. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because on our flips, when the agent has the opportunity to get the listing on the back end, that's an easy conversation. What you pay for this? What's the offer? Blah, blah, blah. For sale.
flip in that market. Yeah.
You know? Oh, we are, yeah.
Oh, you're helping those?
Yeah, we have 11 or 12 active rehabs in those two markets, right? Oh, shit. Keeps cash rentals and stuff.
Do you have a realtor for that?
We do. We give whoever, if someone brings us the deal, we give them first right to list it on the back end. So we're working with 5 or 6 out there, and then our own direct to seller stuff too. But that's why the dispo side is taken care of, because if the numbers work, we'll buy it ourselves out there. It's just finding the deals, analyzing them, knowing what street is what side of the tracks, that type of thing.
Because, okay, are those realtors that send you are they good? Can they teach?
They're really good at traditional real estate. In my experience so far, they struggle with the off-market, distressed investment size estate, but they're out there for sure.
Yeah, they're out. How do we find you?
Yeah.
You can post on Facebook group, hey,
Totally.
look for the best. I'm willing to pay X, Y, Z. I mean, who's going to say no to? Right. Yeah. Everyone says they're the best, and I'm sure you've been in business for a while. So that is, okay, that is an action item that I would have. Cool. So let's talk about how we are going to find a junior underwriter.
Yeah, I think it's the profile is that agent who couldn't quite crack it because they don't want to be in front of people. They don't
What
want
a
to
failed wholesaler?
Could be. My fear on that is
They would
they're too sales oriented and they want to go to
take over your stuff. Yeah.
I want the guy who just wants to be an underwriter for life. It's cool making $100K a year. He's not overly ambitious to build his own thing.
What about a retired agent?
Yeah. Could be someone older who's just trying to keep busy, if nothing else. Like, that sounds bad, but like, oh, this is just something to keep me sharp almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, retired. That, again, my limiting belief is those older traditional agents sort of have some tension with wholesaling, investors.
Can you sell? Is there any way you could sell them on like the positive side? Because
1,000%.
Okay.
For sure.
So it's like if they're like stuck with it forever, like no, I don't like. Well, they're probably not going to be right in it anyways.
Yeah.
But if they're like open and coachable, it's like okay, let's hold the conversation.
Yep. Yep.
Is the way I look at it.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, what else can we do? Where else are they laying around?
The agents, or could be a loan officer who gets.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Used to work at a title company, maybe. My mind goes to industry. It could be outside too. It could be, I don't know, an accountant who wants to get from behind the desk, but is really good with numbers. It can stay organized.
Is that profile? So we have these profiles. We have 4 to 5 profiles. How do we find them?
Yeah, I think it's getting serious about what it is we're offering. Are we looking to fill a full-time W-2 position, or is this a pay per lead? Like, what are we trying to find?
What I like to do, the way I hire is off of a 3-month trial period.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's enough.
Yeah.
It could possibly be virtual. Like just pay him a little, treat him like a retainer.
Right.
Hey man, I'm one of your clients. And then it's like, hey man, you like them, I like them, and then you bring them in.
Totally.
That's the way that I go about it.
Makes sense. Try before you buy kind of thing. I like that.
Basically.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so we have our avatar. Where, how can we start reaching out to them? Do you have a list of those people? How do we find those people?
Yeah. Well, the list is like more so agents who are sending us deals and not meet this.
What about hotels and stuff?
Yeah, I've never even hit anybody up outside of that. So that I don't know where to go to get a list of accountants.
I'll say you can always start with Facebook groups. Totally. Yeah. So action item, create a fucking template. Highlighting. So the way I create a template, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I'm just gonna say we were looking for underwriter OTEs on her K, and I state responsibilities, and I state why somebody should work for us, and then comment, GAMI, etc.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about what we have, I don't know if you guys have this as well, is like a company promo video. So hey, you might, I'll send you mine, but mine, I took my entire team on a retreat. I recorded a lot of content. I got testimonials from everybody, and it's really just a sales process.
Yes.
Layla Hermosi, she calls it talent acquisition. It's the exact same thing, right? You're selling clients, you're selling agents, why they should work for you.
Yep.
And then I would hop on interviews, and I would structure those interviews. And the reason why I say that is after you run 10 interviews, easy numbers, right? You're going to find okay, who is good or is a potential fit. You write that down because let's say in the future, this person doesn't pan out, you have the process that way you don't have to start from scratch.
You're right. Totally.
Basic, but just do it.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it.
So we start interviewing and we go to hiring. My hiring process, I hire slow, fire fast.
Yep.
Is my methodology. Because if I hire the wrong person, it costs me a lot of money and time and pension, false hope, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I would start there. That's exactly where I would start. And I would put a good amount of my time towards that.
Yeah.
Which brings me on to my next topic of what does your day look like and where's your time being spent?
Yeah, definitely. That's been a good improvement. It used to be all over crazy with all the flips, just on site too much and running around. So that's been a lot better. I'm in the
Are you site manager?
We used to have a couple on staff. Once we winded down those flips, we transitioned them out. So now we just use either GCs or guys that work with me for Acton. Get a project coordinator, just kind of a runner, go get materials, check in on this, but more of a junior position than an actual PM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So your day is what would you break it down to?
Yeah, I'm in office quite a bit, dealing with the projects, across the country and those other 2 markets. And then, looking at deals. The last 12 months or so has been the most office time for me, which is great. I can be in here training, talking with sales guys instead of out at flips or off-site doing whatever. And then I'm my highest and best use during the day is taking the qualified leads that acquisition reps have drummed up.
What task I'm just using most money?
Closing side A contracts with sellers.
So, what?
The acquisition side, like just getting contracts signed with sellers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't you have closers?
it's all me.
You're the only closer.
right now. Yep.
Why haven't you hired other acquisition managers?
They've just come in as more reps, lead gen, get someone to say yes, and then
So they're IDs and those.
that's it. Yep.
So your acquisition manager,
Basically, yeah.
do you feel like if you found somebody that is as good as you, if not better, would buy you back more time?
Definitely. Right. Like, I love it. It doesn't feel heavy to me. That's a part of business I enjoy.
Okay.
But if there was someone, dude, yeah, totally.
Okay.
Throw the plug into sales.
If we hire an acquisition manager, would that solve a problem we're running into? Because to me, it sounds like your time. Like, let's think about it like this. Let's say we find somebody, because I've done I'll say my entire playbook.
Yeah.
Let's say we find somebody to take over acquisitions for you. What are you going to do then with that time?
I think I'll still be involved because it's a part of the business I really enjoy.
Oh, for sure. I
get it. I think it's then just taking the step back to look at, if I working on the business instead of in the business type cliche comment, but hey, marketing channels and how's this are tracking for the numbers we talked about that I don't have. And because I'm in it, I'm on the phone with sellers, I can't be tracking our number of offers.
Also, like I'm kind of just sending you a sheet, and I just look for the lowest number. A sheet of like their KPIs.
Oh, yeah.
You just have it every lined up, so it's like click-through rate, click to lead, or opt-in rate / submission, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then lead to appointment, appointment to offer, appointment to contract to close, ever sampling. I just look for literally finding the constraint is very simple. You just look for the lowest.
Totally.
Because if you solve that, you double that. Everything else is basically huge. But it doesn't sound like acquisitions. You want to delegate it because I see that you like it.
I was hoping one of these more junior lead gen guys could grow into a sales manager, acquisition manager position.
The reason why I say that is tricky is because sales managers are coaches. They're not players.
Totally.
They're former they're former players. But the challenge you're going to run into that I ran into and a lot of our other clients that I've seen run into is that a player and a coach are very people.
100%.
Exactly. So you have to be really careful about that because a manager, let's say an acquisitions manager, right? They're good at selling. They're not good at leading. I'll tell you because this is me. I'm good on the phones. I think I am, but I'm not the best manager, and my patience is like really low, which is something I'm working on. But it's there. You have to just separate the way, and that's very, very common because it's like logically you would send somebody up, right, and then VP of sales. But what if they're a bad manager?
Totally.
Company's frustrated.
Totally.
Yes, that makes sense.
It is.
Okay.
I think part of my limiting belief too is like, well, to find that right person, I got to give them a huge base, and I got to get the company in the right spots to help them. And
Or acquisition manager.
I guess I don't know the difference between the two, but
Okay, so an acquisition manager is basically a closer.
okay,
A sales manager is the guy that manages acquisition manager
got it.
and lead managers, etc.
Yep. Yeah, I think I haven't put a ton of time into it, but maybe just we're not set up to afford that right stud, or it would take too long to find the right talent to
So I'll tell you what we do. We run ads for acquisition managers that we try to we provide acquisition managers that are already working a better opportunity for us. So that's cool. I like that. Okay, so I'll be sending you that as well.
What's your comp plan for those guys?
For acquisition?
Yeah.
A straight commission.
100% commission. Okay,
A straight commission.
cool.
12 to 15. I've seen as high as 20. Some of our clients are doing 20%.
Wow.
On assignment.
And it sounds like most of your other clients and you guys give them that they know what all the numbers, they know what the profit per deal is.
See, I don't have a definite answer for that, but I know some do.
Sure.
So I'm not saying all of it, but
Yeah. That makes sense.
yeah. Because another thing is like our onboarding and ramp is like relatively quick.
Okay.
This is a common thing that I've seen as well. You bring in an acquisition manager, it takes them 30 days to hop on the phone.
Yeah.
Bad.
Or you're doing bad. They even know right away they're not the right fit. They'd be on the phone first day. It'd be
Exactly.
pushing me.
I give them day 3. I give them like 1 to 3 days role play, call reviews, things like that. And then I get them on sure. And then so we have some clients that like for us at my company, you get 5 calls. If you can't bring on a right client with proper expectations in 5 calls, you're fired. Really, every single time I exceeded that, they still close the deal, but they're not going to be able to. Sure. Like we're running through that right now as a thing. So we set our standard very high because I want the guy coming in and be like, shit, I have to put balls to the wall or else I'm gone.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
The issue with that comes out to on-track earnings. You have to give them very respectable on-track earnings because you're also competing against other companies that are paying their guys 30K a month.
Totally.
So it's like,
Yeah. For this, I'll show you. Be curious your take on the plan. Again, it's different because they don't see. I think it's on the computer.
yeah, it's really interesting. That's good.
I would train up these guys, and they would see, oh, cool, we cracked a 6-figure assignment fee, but I brought the deal in. Why am I giving up so much to the company? I'll just break off and do. And I'm like, the 5th time that happened, I was like, okay, I got to mix it up.
Show them the trouble when it comes to like managing dispo.
Bro, I'm like, go try it. See, and they don't work out.
I have a rule, and I guess this is not a thing. This comes out of ego, but it's like if somebody leaves me or I fire somebody, they're not coming back. I don't give.
Oh, 100%. I'm like, are you kidding? No way. And I'm like, when I have conversations, I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you don't do it because I want to keep you here. I'm like protecting you from what you don't know. Grass isn't always green.
Exactly. You got to be careful because it's like I run into this with my team a lot.
Yeah.
It's like one of my team members who obviously really wants to start creating content to promote our services. Sounds great on paper, but like I spend almost 10K a month on that.
Totally.
It's not, and I have spent all my time.
You're like, go try it. See what
you could try. Yeah, and I told him, I was like, hey man, you could try it. I'm just gonna say like, this is what you're unaware of.
Yes. So, and that's cool. If they need to learn the hard way, whatever. But I can't. It's on my desktop, but I'm trying to look for our quick little comp plan prezo here.
You are good. Literally, what I do is I send them a Google Doc.
Okay.
And it's like a ClickUp document. Okay. It's just everything. I'm gonna send that to you, right? Cool. Actually, I remember. Can I pull up a tab? Do I have my computer? Let me know if we've sent you this before. Have you sent you this?
Not sure yet. JT may have hit me with a link on IQ.
So here's sometimes like JC likes giving bases.
Sure.
I always say no. Oh, really? Okay. I always say no to bases because salespeople do not get bases. You're a salesperson, not a dispo.
Oh, and why does he say must include? He's a bit older.
Oh, okay, I see. That's just his thought.
Sure.
He's too nice.
He's super nice.
So I break down my scorecards. So there's 3 of them. Oops. There we go. So the way I break it down is results and outcomes. Like, what are you trying to achieve here? Like, you're here for a reason. I hired you to solve the problem. What? That's what you're here for. Competencies, like traits, and then native geniuses that I look for, right? Sometimes you say analytical, and the reason why I say analytical for acquisition managers is because I want them to, like, wake up at night is like, damn it, I forgot to call that guy, right? So, like, that's what I want.
Totally.
Problem solver, it basically helps with objection handling, loyalty, obviously. Voice everything, detail oriented. I guess this one and the first one are the same. Sales and influence. I don't break down sales or close. I never say closing. I just say a moment. For me, because I'm in B2B.
Okay.
And then understand psychologies. Like, just read. It's a very hard skill to teach, but it's like the way I break it down is when it comes to reading body language, tonality, things like that. It's all pattern recognition. It's all it is. If you tell them a price and they pause for a bit, they're probably like, that's not a good price. Sure. So it's little things like that. Some of the questions that we like to ask, probe on these, I break it down to a 2-step interview. So it's a initial interview. So these are 4 values. I look for 4 things. Leadership capabilities, work ethic. I can't remember. What's that guy's name? Jacko Willick? What's his extreme ownership?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Extreme ownership, coachability, leadership capabilities, and then one more. I can't remember right now. So I make sure they align that, and then I have an onboarding process. Day 2, day 3, pretty much is role playing. You just start pushing the phones. I have my lead manager script. It's some people like it, some people like, how to prevent burnout. Because we have an issue, like I recognize a pattern with one of our salespeople where it's like after 3 months, he would just die.
Really?
Like he just flop. I was like, bro, what happened?
Yeah.
Next month, dark on the tank.
Nice.
Beginning, middle, and end of day. This is why I break it down. Hey, follow-up requested, long-term nurture, no-shows. No-shows are basically people who didn't answer.
Sure.
Consistent sales wins. Energy and sleep with your acquisition. I've seen, so we've had a client that would get his entire team Whoop bands. You know what a Whoop band? Okay. And it goes into the team so he can read it every morning and track their sleep.
Talk about KPIs, bro.
And he looks at it, and it's funny because if he sees in the middle of the night, somebody's heart rate just like,
Sure.
exactly.
That's hilarious.
So I thought that was really funny. Daily sales calls reviews. So with our salespeople, you don't have any yet, but like with ours, we do call reviews daily to see what we can. And the way I do call reviews, the mistake that I made starting out is I would give them like 20 different things to improve on in like a half an hour.
Sure.
The way I am supposed to do it, and I do it now, is find 2 or 3 things that they can improve on because they're not going to remember, right? And then objection handling. Here's some objections that, like the way I break it down is pain. So I call this the 7 beliefs of sales. Cole Warden does, if you know who that is. He's one of the biggest sales trainers here in Phoenix. So it's pain or problem. So what struggles are they going to? Foreclosure, etc. Doubt. What doubts do they have about working with you? It's probably because, they got locked up with another guy. It didn't go well, etc. Consequence. What happened if you don't sell your property to me and, you go into foreclosure?
Yep.
You lose half your shit? Okay, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Goal. What you're trying to achieve. That's how much they want, basically. Similar to finances. Are they flexible? Decision makers, wife, husband,
Yep.
lawyer, whatever. And trust. Before I typically drop price, I like to ask them like, hey, do you feel like we are the right company for you? And I'll be like, why? Why do you feel sure we're the right company for you? They'll tell us. So in a way, it's like you want to get them to admit to you why you're best fit for them. Makes sense? So I look at it.
Cool.
But yeah, take that, build your SOP off of that. And in the future, whenever you're ready to hire an acquisition manager, I'd go off of that.
Cool.
Because this is exactly what we used.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, those are the 2 basics.
Sweet. I liked it.
Questions for me?
I think those are the main ones for now.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure like you could improve your CRM process. So it's like it's not going to do much.
It's a little tricky since we use Resimply, so we try to move things from what's go high level. So that kind of intake, and then we transfer it over to Resimply, and so we're still trying to get better at that.
Add it to Resimply now.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, JT's never mentioned that. That's a possibility. So that would be cool.
It's funny you say that because we had a client, the guy we did 200K. Every single lead, he would copy it and then paste it over.
Right, Joe. You're like,
I was like, so what do you do? He was like, wait, you could do that? I'm like,
yeah. I know JT was mentioning something too on like the JV side within your other clients or maybe you guys, because like we're not truthfully really working leads that are outside of our 3 states. I mean, we'll call seller and see if there's something there, but we got 2 this morning from like New Mexico. I'm like, I don't even know.
if you call them to contract them, I could connect you with Austin's team.
Okay.
You guys can close.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be happy to pass it over and like, hey, if it works out, do we think it's something great?
If you give them, I'll tell you this: if you just send a lead to them and they contract it, it's 70 to them, 30 to you.
Okay.
If you contract it, it's 50-50.
Okay,
So you know it's one contract.
nice. Yeah, sweet. They've been sent to you to send to him.
Like, we still have-
that's way to.
It's not-
Oh, okay. Where's the help for him?
I'll send it super.
Cool. That'd be helpful. Yeah.
But like for some, this is my account. But like for some of our clients, we have this. I can't share another client's account, obviously. But something we have is like Hyros, where we're able to plug it in, and we can track which ad set and which ad itself is producing the lead, the appointment, and the contract. So it helps us with attribution, so we can go into one and just scale the hell out of it. Because Facebook, exactly, because Facebook can't know when you got a lead under a contract.
Right.
But they'll know when their data tracking is also absolute shit.
Oh, really?
It's so bad. The Facebook tracking is so bad. So with this, like we can plug it in. We could see like this one's generating this sales, etc.
Sure.
We could pull it into your account and we could just scale it.
Nice.
It's nasty.
Nice.
But the only issue is like we don't need this until we're spending like $1,000 a day, because the beautiful thing is we can actually take that data, feed it back to Facebook and tell them like, hey, this is working.
This is the one that, yeah.
Exactly. So that's something that we're doing that's really powerful.
That's nice.
Hey, hope you enjoyed the conversation and problem solving session that I had with Mason, one of our clients here. If you are a virtual wholesaler who's closing 2 or more deals per month and you want the exact same marketing systems, specifically on Facebook ads or PPC that we use to generate our clients a minimum return on ad spend of a 3x ROAS, and the exact same consulting support that we do not only for him, but all of our other clients as well, with not only me, but our director of client success who's been in business for over 25 years, click the link in the description or in the comments where you could schedule a call with me and my team where I could sit down with you and pretty much roadmap or game plan where your business is going to be at with our services, with our help. And if that's you, I look forward to hopefully speaking with you. If not, feel free to continue enjoying the free content that I'm putting out. So that's it. That is my entire conversation, pretty much. At least the ones that Mason let me keep in, because obviously he wanted to keep some things outside or private within his business. So, and if you didn't get the takeaway, the biggest things was, from what I remember, if we were able to help him hire an underwriter, we found out that is able to pretty much double his business. So my question then became, what can we do to find this underwriter as soon as and as quickly as humanly possible? Because that is the constraint. And transparently, I really enjoy doing these conversations because there are some times during the little meeting where you could just see him light up like a light bulb click in his head, where he's like, "Damn it, I found the solution, right? I found exactly what the problem is, and I found what to do about it." So you'd also see me follow up with him in the sense of I would ask him like, "Cool, why do you think that's important?" Right? Because I'm trying to almost sell him on the fact on why he should do it and why he should do it sooner than later. So transparently, this is the first time I've done anything like this. And if you stuck to the end, I just want to say thank you for giving us one of the most valuable assets of your time as a business owner, that being your attention. And because of that, I have a gift for you, right? In the resources that I shared with him, there were a few things. I shared with him our team feedback survey. I shared with him our client ROI tracker. So it's really a spreadsheet or a calculator where we're able to plug in some numbers and we're able to project where his business is going to be at, revenue, expenses, how many leads he's going to have, his total database, appointments, contracts, closed deals, average sign fee, like all of that. And we're able to project not only where the business is going to be at this month, next month, but for the next 12 months, right? It's free. And if you want that as a thank you for sticking to the end, just DM me on my Instagram. It's somewhere in the description. And if not, my editor will throw it up. It's official Benjamin, Hoang, right here. And just ask for it. Let me know you came from this video, because obviously this is my token of appreciation for you guys, right? But other than that, that's a video. I think I'm going to be doing more of these because I've noticed that a lot of people like them and they get a lot of value out of them. And sometimes most people just need a second opinion on their business, right? Just an outsider to look over their shoulder and see what's really going on. And we'll definitely be doing more of these because they're really, really fun. But your biggest takeaway, if you're watching this, should hopefully be take the questions that I asked him and ask yourself those questions in your business. That way you can identify the exact constraint, right? So that's the entire goal of why I did this this little mastermind session or brainstorming session with him, is to identify what the problem is, right? Because I can sit here and glorify his goals, but the thing that will actually take him to that next level is solving the problems that he has in his business today, right? So that's really all I have for this video. If you like it, please don't forget to like, Comment any questions, right? Something you're confused about. I love to answer them personally. Nobody else responds to comments besides me. I manage all of this, in addition to my, amazing creative director, Aaron, that helps us put this together. And if you got value out of this and you want to see more videos like this, right? I have case studies, testimonials, podcasts, client vlogs, all of that. I'd love for you to subscribe and turn on the post bell notifications. That way you can see more videos as well. But other than that, again, my name is Benjamin, CEO and founder here at Bolt Deals, and I will see you in the next one.